When the world tells you there's no way you can realize your dream, you have two choices: give up or keep going. 5 friends who grew up together had a dream everyone said was impossible. But they chose to keep going. They made the impossible possible, making Taiwanese music history along the way. Indeed, they're still going. MayDay, a 5-piece rock band from Taiwan, formed in a classroom in Taipei in 1997. They'd come from all corners of the island. Just another teenage rock band, but they worked tirelessly for 15 years. From street performances to pubs, to school campus, and on to huge arenas, all the way to what must count as the crowning glory of their careers: 3 unforgettable sold-out concerts in Beijing's Bird Nest to an audience of 300,000. They've conquered Asia, constantly evolving their shows, and wherever they go, the crowds follow. The Asia media calls them the kings of the rock concert, and the American press has dubbed them the Chinese Beatles, and for good reason. Taiwan is just a small island, one albeit bustling corner of our vast planet. Invisible most of the time to the rest of the world, Taiwan's music industry does, however, punch above its weight in Asia. And one rock band has made its mark more than any other. A family of friends who together have worked tirelessly for 15 years, have sung their way out and onto the world stage. The undisputed giants of Mando rock. It hasn't always been easy. The bumps in the road often not obvious to their fans. It needed bravery. But it's just as they sing. My persistence, 2 hands that won't let go. Will the next step be heaven? Even if I'm disappointed, I won't lose hope. A rally to call to their fans and to themselves. They've always drawn on their inner strength, kept pushing their way forward to get to where they are now.
追求梦想呢，应该不是说个人有什么利益，而是说这个梦想实现以后，对社会、对他人，它的价值是什么？不但是要用心，同时也要有洒劲。MayDay 相信这15年来，不断的从第一场音乐会到现在，就是追求带给更多年轻朋友的快乐。那现在更重要的是说，他走出台湾，走出亚洲，那这样他的影响力把他们的创作、他们的快乐、他们的感觉呢，带给更多的人。
From the beginning, their families hoped they would choose a different path. 10 years ago, Taiwanese people didn't view pop music as an appropriate career. It was, at best, an amusement, or something to do as well as your day job. Coming from middle-class Taiwanese families, their parents hoped they would go to university and pursue professional jobs or take over the family businesses. And they could have. But the uncertain road proved more attractive, and so they took their instruments and decided to keep rocking. Monster's father is a lawyer, and he hoped his son would follow him into the profession. And all throughout his university days, Monster tried to combine his studies with his burgeoning music career, before finally deciding to put everything into the band. Ashin studied design at university, and his family was keen he start his own studio, but he wouldn't be persuaded. After the band recorded their first album and their music video, he thought about smashing the family's TV so that his mother wouldn't find out. Before they performed their first real gig, they had already cut their teeth busking and playing at open nights, once with only one person in the audience, the owner of the bar. That night they played for 3 hours. They realized then that it didn't matter if they only had an audience of 2. They had to keep performing. In 1999, the godfather of Chinese popular music, Jonathan Lee, spotted the band and signed them to his label Rock Records, releasing their first album the same year. In those days, there were no mainstream rock bands in Taiwan. But their positive, youthful music gradually began to take off, backed by a grueling performance schedule, and ended up changing the very face of rock music in the Chinese-speaking world. Neither the band nor the manager could believe it. Rock music had been a niche affair, but MayDay created catchy, beautiful melodies which spoke to people. And now their songs are standards for the next generation learning guitar and taking to the stage for the first time. Having been students with a dream themselves, MayDay's message is, if we can do it, so can you. Each album is the result of the band's collective vision, and their music is characterized by energetic harmonies. They embody the one essential element in all successful rock bands, unity. In the 15 years they have worked together, arguments have been rare. Despite juggling their own family lives, their goal remains as one. They have yet to lose their passion for music. On stage, the band's energy is infectious. No one can resist, and arms never stay crossed for long. MayDay have redefined Chinese rock music. And when no one thought they'd break through, they kept working at it. Their passion is clear to the fans. Give me a guitar and I'll raise the world. That's their motto. Ever since their earliest days, the band has had one philosophy: never stop performing. MayDay released their first album in 1999, and in the same year held their first large-scale concert in Taipei's stadium, drawing an audience of 20,000. Their second album, Viva Love, followed in 2000 and won them their first Golden Melody Award for Best Album. They took the album on tour around Taiwan as part of their Stand Out 100,000 Youth Tour, playing to 100,000 MayDay crazed fans. People Life, Wild Ocean. The band's third album was released in 2001, proving a breakthrough for the band in terms of sales. The tour which followed was yet another success, but the band was forced to take temporary hiatus as 3 of the members served their compulsory military service. 2003 announced MayDay's return. Despite the 2-year break, their fans hadn't forgot them. And indeed, they came back stronger than ever with their City of the Sky concert to 40,000 fans, breaking Michael Jackson's record for the biggest single concert in Taiwan. From this concert on, they only had their own records to break. By 2004, MayDay had already released 5 albums in Taiwan and achieved hitherto unheard-of sales for a rock band. So they embarked on their first international tour, taking in America, China, Malaysia, Japan, and Hong Kong. In 2005, MayDay celebrated the completion of the then world's tallest building, Taipei 101, with their Top of the World concert in homage to the Beatles' legendary last concert in 1969 on top of the Apple Building in London. Realizing they couldn't possibly top their success in Taiwan, the band turned to mainland China, where the culture shock that ensued challenged them in a way they'd never experienced before. Could they cross over into a different culture and make it there too? Their solution was simple: keep performing, keep singing. Making use of their unique stage presence, the band toured all over the country, from the largest to the smallest cities, playing shopping malls, on stages by the side of the road, and in school sports grounds. The Taiwanese megastars were virtually unknown in China, but MayDay rolled up their sleeves and boarded their tour bus, as if out of Almost Famous, and conquered the country one concert at a time. From their first concert with 6,000 in Beijing to 80,000 in Shanghai, all the way to 2 sellout nights in Beijing's Bird Nest in 2012, each night playing to 100,000 spectators. It had taken them 8 years, but they had done it. It took 3 years to record their 8th album, Second Round, which sold over 100,000 copies in a week and won them their 11th Golden Melody Award. The album launch also marked the beginning of their Nowhere Tour, which kicked off with 7 nights at Taipei Arena, hosted a total of 100,000 fans. 2012 to 2013, the band took their 200+ million NT concert on tour, playing 71 nights, including another 3 nights at Beijing's Bird's Nest, each night playing to another 100,000 fans. In 2011, MayDay first started experimenting with 3D technology, creating their first tour movie, MayDay 3DNA, adding the spider cam in 2013 for their second movie, Nowhere 4DX. What is it that excites such passion in MayDay fans? People say just watch them perform one song live and you'll be hooked. Each concert brings them ever more fans. As record sales continue to decline across the industry, MayDay's success shows that people still need good pop music. They need musicians to create music, to perform, to bring people together through a love of a common artistic experience. Despite the remarkable successes of the last 15 years, MayDay are still essentially the same 5 teenagers, meeting in a classroom at school to practice. Their uniqueness comes from their ordinariness. As they tell their fans, MayDay isn't made up of 5 members, it's all of you. Xin, the band's lead singer, sums it up perfectly. Everyone wants a change in the world, and we know that as a band, MayDay won't be the ones to do it. But we can make the soundtrack. If the world is just one big revolutionary concert venue, then that's where I want MayDay's music to be played.